Hi everyone, I'm Shelly and you're watching There's No Place Like Home. I'm back with another video and today's topic is this. There's something you might not know about Benjamin Netanyahu. You may have noticed that I really don't get into political issues on my channel, and I very rarely watch mainstream media, so most of the time I don't even know what is happening at any given time. However, you would have to be living under a rock to know that there is some stuff going on right now between Israel and Iran. And I thought that I would share this interesting information with you just so that, we can kind of keep an eye on this situation because I think this is really relevant. I recently finished reading the book Armageddon Deception by Michael Sullivan, and I will share both the book and his YouTube channel in the description. But in that book, I learned that Benjamin Netanyahu is considered by some Jews to be the Messiah. And he is considered by other Jews to be the one who is going to be ushering in the Messiah. And this is extremely relevant if we look at the goings on in the world surrounding Israel, and not even just this instance. I'm saying that every time something happens, we need to keep an eye on the situation. In Armageddon Deception, I'm just going to read you a couple of the excerpts from this. It's not all excerpts from the book, though. I am going to share some articles with you too, and also just kind of give us everyone a heads up that we also need to pay attention to Donald Trump's quote spiritual advisor in this situation. But anyway, on page 42, Michael Sullivan says Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reportedly revealed at a Likud conference on Wednesday some remarkable facets of the basic law he submitted last Thursday, which would enshrine Israel's status as the nation state of the Jewish people. And so I looked that up, and that is talking about this. And this was apparently passed in 2018. And there was, as you can see here, it was met with sharp backlash internationally. Okay. And we'll read a little bit more of this in a minute, but I just want to read some more to you from this book. It says the new law also would establish the Talmud, the core work of Jewish law, as an official basis for Israeli state law. And it goes on to say, I'm going to personally be involved in the law defining the state of Israel as the nation state of the Jewish people, Netanyahu reportedly told Viter. It's a very important law that will influence how Israel will look in the future. I want to anchor in this law, that it will be a basic law that the state of Israel arose and exists on the basis of the Torah and the Jewish tradition, Netanyahu explained, promising to define the Hebrew calendar as the official state calendar. Netanyahu also promised that we will define in the law the Gemara as a basis for the Israeli legal system, referencing the Jewish legal text analyzing the Mishnah, a legal work of the Jewish sages, which together form the Talmud. And I just want to point out here that the Talmud is not the Torah. Okay, that is not what is in the Bible. And then here's what someone had to say about this. This is Victoria Radin, and she wrote this on a website called hadericministries.com. Let's see. Now Benjamin Netanyahu wants to have Israel declare that its legal system is based on the Babylonian Talmud rather than on the secular Western common law it was founded on. Then Michael Sullivan goes on to say, and since Netanyahu also wants the law of the land to reflect the Talmudic Jewish calendar, many see him as a possible candidate for the runner up to the Messiah, or in some circles, to be the Messiah. And here is a quote. It would seem that these proposals, as well as other signs, have led some in the Orthodox community to believe that Bibi Netanyahu is Mashiach ben Yosef, the military leader that will precede the coming of the Messiah. He will die in battle, but will make the way for the Messiah to come. They claim that Netanyahu will be the last leader of Israel until the Messiah comes. Because Netanyahu has a military background and the fact that they believe he has taken on the spiritual mantle of Mordecai, as is demonstrated in his speech to the U.S. Congress noted above, they are calling him Mashiach ben Yosef. Their website enumerates the many ways Bibi fulfills the requirements of this forerunner. And that was also from Victoria Radin's article. I hope I said that her name right, but I don't know. But it says Bibi's desire to change the law of Israel is a classic bait and switch. So we need to remember that the Jews, they do not believe that Jesus was the Messiah. They are waiting for their own Messiah. I also a while back, let me see if I can find it. I did a video last year on the Scofield Reference Bible and actually the roots of dispensationalism, and I went into who funded the Scofield Reference Bible and the fact that the entire purpose of the Scofield Reference Bible was to push forth the ideology of Zionism, to kind of push forward this messianic Jewish future that was wanted. Because make no mistake, they use the book of Revelation as a self-fulfilling prophecy. That is exactly what they're doing. And that is why there are so many people who do read the Scofield Reference Bible and who adhere to dispensationalism. They're funneling money overseas to support things that are all about bringing in their proposed Messiah. And this book by Michael Sullivan, it goes so much deeper into this, but this is on all fronts. This comes in from the Muslims, it comes in from the Zionist Jews, and it comes in from the Christian evangelicals as well. So it's really something that we need to look forward to, not look forward to, but to look at when we see what is happening, because they will orchestrate things to support their purpose. So here's an article. The era of the Messiah has come. What Netanyahu's remarks mean amid Gaza war. And this was written last year. On September 2nd, 2024, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reaffirmed his commitment to crush the resistance in Gaza due to its Islamic doctrine aimed at destroying Israel, assuring Israelis of their eventual victory and declaring that the era of the Messiah will come. Netanyahu, appealing to the aspirations of Israelis and the American Christian Zionist movement, implied that the arrival of the awaited Messiah was imminent. It's funny that that word imminent is being used because I just recorded another video about the On Time book club that I'm doing, and we focused on the word imminent and how that word is also used for the coming of Jesus. And let's just make no mistake. Jesus returned in the first century. There is nothing in the Bible about a third physical temple that needs to be built. All of these machinations are being pushed today to, again, bring this, I guess you could say, new world order, this agenda into play. Okay. And I know people are going to say, oh, but I thought we were living on the new earth. Yes, that doesn't mean that people are not sinful and will still not try to control things. The new earth is about living in the new covenant. It's about being in covenant with God. Revelation 22:15 tells us that there are still evil people on the earth, the new earth, outside the New Jerusalem. Okay? So the evangelical Christians, they're being used. They are being used 100% for their money and their support. That's as far as that goes. Now I'm not saying this at all against the common man over there. Okay? Not against them at all. I am talking about those in control. The far-right factions within Netanyahu's government believe in the coming of the Messiah, whom they see as the final king from the line of David, destined to establish the kingdom of God and rebuild the temple in place of Al-Aqsa Mosque. So you see, that is the Jewish thought is that there is going to be a third temple, and it was the Rothschilds who funded the Scofield Reference Bible, and that is the one that really pushes a rebuilding of a third temple. And now you see why, because it is based upon Jewish views and not upon what the Bible says. Okay? So important to know these things. Netanyahu's remarks were more religious than political, as he sought to justify prolonging the war with religious arguments, cloaked in military plans, such as his refusal to withdraw from the Philadelphia route, which he described as the divine path that will save Israel from an existential threat. This extended his portrayal of Palestinians as the children of darkness and Israelis as the children of light, while claiming that he is working to fulfill Israel's prophecy of bringing devastation to the land of the enemies. Then this just talks about the Jewish Messiah, and then this goes on again about Netanyahu. Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, Netanyahu's religious advisor with influence in the White House, told Netanyahu that God had an important role for him in the future, long before he came to prominence in Israel, according to the Israeli website By Faith on June 15, 2024. The rabbi reportedly told Netanyahu in a private meeting that he would be Israel's last prime minister and that he would be the one to hand over the scepter to the Messiah. When Netanyahu, by the way, the scepter that departed from Judah, that went to Jesus. But anyway, when Netanyahu became the Israeli occupation's prime minister, many felt this confirmed the rabbi's prophecy. So what we have here, and I will leave a link in the description for this, but again, you see that they're talking about a third temple being built. The third temple that the evangelical Christians are looking at, that is coming about from the Jewish religion. It is not coming from the Christian religion. It is not coming from the Bible. Okay? I cannot emphasize how it's very disturbing when you have these world leaders who do have these Messiah complexes that think that they are the ones who are going to control some sort of holy world or holy restoration or usher in the Messiah, because that really is going to affect how they govern. Now, with that being said, we have Donald Trump and his religious advisor, Paula White, who is a Zionist, who is all for these causes of what I was just talking about. And the mere fact that Donald Trump chose Paula White as his advisor, to me, shows that if he is a Christian, he is a very new Christian. And I really pray that he has some biblical Christians who are speaking truth into his life and who understand what the Bible actually says. Because right here we see right on her website that she is completely behind everything that Netanyahu is. She said a senior advisor to President Trump of Faith and Opportunity Initiative, Pastor Paula, worked closely with faith leaders and the Trump administration in helping move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, the bringing together of three Abrahamic religions to promote interfaith and intercultural dialogue. With the signing of the Abrahamic Accords, that is very troubling, by the way, in 2020 by representatives from Bahrain, Emirates, Israel, and the United States. Recognition of Israel's biblical sovereignty in the Golan Heights, signing an executive order that recognizes anti-Zionism as anti-Semitism, and so much more. So, yeah, she's pretty much behind hate speech laws. People aren't allowed to, say what they believe if it goes against what she believes. So, very disturbing that we have her kind of advising President Trump. And I'm sure that she is in his ear right now about the things that are going on over there. And I just pray that God grants him discernment, and God grants all of us discernment, because we need to call out evil when we see it. That's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one down below. And if you like my work and would like to become a channel member, I will leave a link in the description box for that as well, or you can just click on it right on my channel page. And I hope you have a great day.